Welcome to the Woman Up podcast. My name is Natasha DG. I'm your host. Today we are having an award-winning keynote speaker and a best-selling author of Yes, Coming to Do Live, a book centered on training people to tap into their brain and body connection, enabling them to embrace any passion and desire and turn into tangible results. She is also the CEO of Embrace Your Fitness LLC, a wellness consultancy driven to bring innovative, creative, and effective wellness program to individuals and corporations and organizations. It is truly a privilege to welcome Lisa Charles. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Oh my goodness. I am overjoyed and just so excited to be here with my own very much accomplished sister that's doing it in Canada.
Yes, definitely. For people who do not know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I always say I introduce you from the inside out, right? So at the heart, I am a compassionate individual that is driven to help people see the other side of what their life could be. And this has been with me since I was a small girl. I always say, we are so informed by our experiences, even young. And so I'm no different. I had what would be considered a very negative experience young that got me on a real bad track as to my weight, as to just how other people saw me. I was overweight as a child, and I let other people's determination of who I was dictate me for many years, on and off, struggled with weight until I really happened upon the pathway forward to lasting change. And honestly, it changed my life. And here I am as a wellness consultant and all the things you said.
Looking fabulous. Looking fabulous. I promise you, I really mean it. I don't just say it. I truly mean it. You look fabulous. Stunning.
I'm going to take it in because sometimes we don't listen and we don't take in when someone says, I'm going to take it in, hold it in my heart, move it around, and let it come back out in joy in some kind of way. So I appreciate your compliment. And I'm happy really to be here to share sort of steps to freedom, because I think that's what we're all looking for, right? Steps
Definitely.
to us.
Exactly. So just to start, can you share a bit about your journey into fitness and how it became a passion about helping women defying age through fitness?
So I'm going to say, journey, I could really sum it up. Started at age 11 with me going on my first diet, and I call diet die internally every time. That's what it means. Wow. And I went on, I can't even count how many diets I've been on in my lifetime. My first diet was 3 bananas, a gallon of water, and running a mile a day for 7 days. And wow. I did what you would think. I lost weight. I was little, but what I got was all these accolades. So I learned that if my weight is low, I feel high. And if my weight is high, I feel low. And that was cemented in me. And I went on to do a lot of things, as we all do. I was, accomplished attorney. I was a prosecutor, federal and state. But the one thing that I wrestled with was my weight, and it was constantly going up and down, just like a little yo-yo. I always say, my little tripwires were see it, say it, weigh it. See it, I'd see myself in the mirror one day or in a picture, and it would depress me, and then I would start a cycle. Say it, my clothes would say something because something didn't fit and it should have fit, and that was my quote unquote large or fat clothes, and in my mind, and if it didn't fit, it would start a certain cycle or the scale. And so I just wanted to break out of that. And what was interesting is I left the practice of law. I had a brief time for 5 years. I was singing professionally. I sang at some of the largest centers in New York. I did a lot of things, but when I had a little vocal challenge, I found myself sick. I had to be hospitalized. They didn't know what was wrong, something in my intestinal tract. And I had to do that thing that I just told you I hated, which was weigh it, because they wouldn't take my guesstimation. And I had to get on the scale, and I found that I was well over 220 pounds. I had never weighed that. And I didn't know I was that. And I hadn't weighed myself in years. So I was in the hospital. I remember looking up at the white walls and the fluorescent light and saying to myself, all right, I have to take a break from singing because of, singing vocal issue. I wasn't practicing law. I said, well, the one thing I'm going to do is figure it out for me. And the only promise I made to myself was I was not going to go on a diet. That is the only thing I said. I don't know how it's going to do. I don't know how it's going to shake out. I don't even know what that means not to be on a diet because I was such a professional dieter. But that was so freeing to me. That was the turning point for me, first to figure it out in my own body. And what I found was starting to unravel what are the internal prisons that I've locked myself in, negative thoughts, fears. What are the things that get me doing the same thing over and over, even though I know it doesn't work? I'm a smart person. People are smart, but yet we do the same thing. We go down the same path. We hear the same words, promises, fake stuff. So coming out of the hospital, first thing I did was throw out everything. I threw out all the pills, all the magazines, all the get then quick stuff. I had a lot of stuff in my closet and cabinets and stupid pieces of equipment that don't work. Threw out everything. And I said, I'm going to start from square one. And that process birthed this whole passion in wellness and fitness. I mean, I'd done things before. I was, I'd come hit and miss on fitness, but it wasn't anything that I was like in love with. And just going through the journey of, goodness, let me just look at how does every food feel in my body? Let me start from the beginnings. How does it feel when I move this way? Or how does it feel when I do this piece of exercise? Or what things do I like to do? What do I love to do? That's the other thing. I wasn't going to do things I hated. What do I like to do? What do I love? And I had to explore that. And I can tell you it took me just about 10 months. I lost 77 pounds, 77 and a half pounds. Hello. And it was done in the nicest way. I wasn't struggling. I wasn't, counting or weighing or obsessing on every little thing I ate or this or that. And therefore, I started to learn intuitively how to shift something from what was a negative part in my brain to something very positive and lively and fun and effortless. And I started incorporating that kind of language to myself. And I also did something that a lot of people do is like, when I lose 20 pounds, then I'm going to fill in the blank. I'll apply to that job. I'll get that dress. I'll go to my reunion. They put off their life for pounds, I call it the digits. Like we define ourselves by these digits. And it's like, well, why are you stopping your life? So I said, I'm going to reward myself and rewarding is not like something I have to go get an ice cream sundae or something. Rewarding is constant. I'm rewarding myself with friendship. I'm rewarding myself with going and doing things with people meeting new people. And I made this whole list of these reward systems. And I rewarded myself all the way through. And I let my body dictate, yeah, I like where you are. This is super chill. Lisa Charles, stay here. This is great. And I did it in a way that allowed me just to enjoy my life, feel the benefits of the health. And then it just ignited this, I say passion, but it was like a zeal. Because I could come at something and say, I understand, I truly understand. I really know when people say this is how they feel it hard or it never works for me and I get it, really get it. So it was natural for me, this thing to want other people not to go through the struggle I have. And what took me 30 years to get to that point, I'd love to cut the year back for other people so that they can see there's another way. And it doesn't start with a big old diet center, and it doesn't say, it doesn't have to be that, because I'm a lifetime member of a few of those diet centers, and that don't make any sense to me. If you're a lifetime member, if it works, why do they need lifetime membership? They rely on it to fail. So I rather take everyone off of that, and my book was born from that. It's simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really fun. It can be just so engaging with aspects of life. And it really boiled down to, for me, that finding the things to say yes to, and that's where yes came from. And the commit, do, live just is it's like a roadmap to your ultimate journey of health. And along the way, all these way stops that make it just a joy, things that bring a smile to the face. And, new relationships and new loves will come to you because you will just be in such a better mind space, and therefore better body space. So yeah, that's kind of this journey in a nutshell for me. And my goal, my hope is to keep it simple for people, because simple makes it doable, and doable makes for results.
That's what that matters, actually. And we want to keep that results for a lifetime, right? And just stop the start and stop,
Yes. It's such a thing. I mean, I don't know exactly all the different diet centers and things like that you have out your way, but the States here, it's inundated. Like, you can't turn on the TV without hearing something, 100%. And everyone knows, just eat that and it's this, or just don't eat this. And they say it like it's a written rule. And you'll start to, cut out fat. Oh, no, don't cut out fat. Oh, cut out meat. Oh, no, eat meat. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And at the end of the day,
grass-fed and all that good stuff.
Yes. There are some things that are healthier for you, and that's a great thing. But for the most part, your body needs protein, it needs carbs, and it needs fats. It needs all of it. And you want to get it in the best, most nutrient-dense way possible. And you want to enjoy it. So it shouldn't be bland and disgusting and with no spices and things that you have to hold your nose to eat because someone said, drink that or eat that. And that's the key. It should be this, as part of the joy journey, is just discovering that there's these most amazing plants and fruits that come from our earth that taste delicious. And it should be exploration and trial and, coming back. I don't like every fruit and every vegetable, but I'll try anything. And
yeah, me too.
An idea of trial and error, you just kind of see where you like and see the combinations and make everything like our lives were here for just a blip. I don't care how old we are, when we're younger, we think we have forever. When we get older, we're like, oh man. Yeah, everyone that's a certain age, they start saying things like, don't you find time moves fast? It's just a different perspective. The time is moving the same.
The clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking. You hear women say how different, the clock is ticking. But whatever the tick of the clock, and I always say it's, I have a program called Age Defying Living, the ADL, right? The ADL, because if you can live in what I call vibrant colors, right? It's just, everything is so beautifully colored in our, by the way of the people and who we associate with. So it can be the color of skin and things like that. We can think like on that level too. We can think about the colors that are in nature and bringing them into your house and into your world and into your food and into your belly. If you think about living in colors, it's what makes things so much more rich and lively. And so kind of training your mind and your brain to really think about those things that bring joy, you will find that you have the ability to take what was once negative and flip it positive. And my work in wellness really landed me in the brain neurology department at Rutgers University. And even though I came into fitness, and I came in as a trainer, and then I was a fitness instructor, then I was a fitness coordinator, then I was a consultant. So my business started to grow in dimension. But the apex of learning came when I was in the neurology department and could add everything that I learned from the physiology to the brain and combine the two. It's endless, like what the brain, what your ability to take even all that negative years of yo-yo dieting and seeing the through line and seeing the positive aspects of how I was able to turn how I see things, turn even those things I used to say, the see it, say it, weigh it, even those I can see it in more of a smile and more of a happy. And I'm literally transferring from one side of my brain to another. I'm literally creating new neuron connections that allow me to really make something positive. Brain loves positive. Brain grows with positive. White matter, gray matter grows. Your outlook is better. Your health is better. So you're able to tackle things differently. So part of the front end of my program is, in the commit side, is I teach people how to turn their brain, how to change their mindset. People think, and I don't mean just think, oh, I'm happy. No, I don't mean that. That's fake. Like, yeah.
No, that's fake. Exactly.
Yeah. You got to do the work to figure it. There's some steps to do, but you can turn what was once painful and pain into something that's very prosperous for you. You have the
that's one thing that we discussed, I think, on our previous call. That's one thing that really came through the aspect of mind-body connection. And I wanted to ask you, how important is the mind-body connection in maintaining fitness and overall well-being as a woman age?
Yes, woman age. Okay. So how women talk when they age, right? It doesn't sound good. Oh, I'm this age and everything's while I'm on, and they'll say it in the most negative way. And I don't care what age you plug in there. Oh, I'm 30 now and X, or I'm 40 now and X, or I'm in menopause and X. And it's all very negative. So here's the thing about the brain. The brain wants to please you, right? So what you say, the brain will do. So if you say, I'm miserable, I'm broke, I'm fat, I'm this, the brain knows no different than to give you what you want, because that's what you say. So one of the things to know is that if you are just letting life live you, and thoughts come and you hold on to whatever, and you feel like you have no control, then what you are allowing is the brain to be in the most negative space, and therefore the body will follow. The brain-body connection says, no, we're going to reattach this. We're going to really take these two aspects of ourselves and put them together in the way that it was meant to be, right? Mm-hmm. And in so doing, what we do is we say, no, it's not just random thoughts. We don't just let the brain say whatever and, we follow along. No, we're going to feed the brain in the way that moves us forward in the way we want to live our lives. And we want to live our lives healthy. We want to be positive. We want a lot of love in our life. So we want to seed the brain that way. So one of it is just us understanding that we have that power. Like, a lot of people don't even know you have the power to reseed your brain 100%. You could, I don't care what situation you're in. I'll give an example. There's a woman that I met. I mean, her upbringing, and anyone's explanation of it would say it was horrendous. But even in her talking about it and in what she's done, and you see the smile's going to come in my face, because what she did as a result of coming out of horrible abuse and all, but she sees it in a different way. Not that the abuse was anything other than all of us would see it, but what she's able to parse out of this was the opportunity to see the strength of character that she had and the brilliance of her soul and the ability, it ignited certain passions of her ability to communicate, for instance. And so she was able to hold on to those aspects of things that are so positive and richly impacted her brain to say, that is what I take from that experience, not the other things that people drag beyond them.
Right.
And she did something really beautiful, which was in connecting the brain body is in the midst of, there's a few different steps, but one of the ones I would love just to lead for your audience is the idea of forgiveness, right? It's forgiveness.
That's a strong one. That's a huge one.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's forgiveness of yourself too. Some people always think it's for somebody else. Any forgiveness you do is for you. If it's for someone else, and you can't tell me any situation, and I've heard it really trust so many very painful things, but I can say this, when you don't forgive, you will always be somewhat disconnected. You will never have the full connection because you're holding really anger and sadness and too current a memory that should be in the past, but you hold it as if it happened 5 seconds ago. And
right.
You hold pain, feeling and vitriol for it. So until you're able to let that go, then the mind can never really truly reach its potential. But you asked about women. So if you allow yourself to go through this kind of processing pain, finding hope, getting into your passion, your love, and working on that. And there's some ways to do this. It's not just, hey, just do it. I mean, there's some actual exercises to do each of these. What you'll start to find is you now will be more, the thing that people throw around a lot, the authentic self, but you'll have a better sense of who you are. You'll be more grounded. And so when it comes to the things that you do to the do part of reconnecting, you're going to be so much in a better mind space to say, okay, wow, focus movement, I get it. So if I move my body, this is going to make me even feel even greater than I've already unlocked the possibility of. So let me do that for 10 days, 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 minutes, 10 days. So see, it's very simple. 10 minutes of focus movement for 10 days. And then at the end of the 10 days, let me recount to my brain and my body how great that made me feel, how proud I am of myself, how consistent I am. I was honest with myself. Let me reward myself mentally with the idea that, yes, it was difficult to forgive. That was a do thing, but I did it. And look how much better I feel. Look how much freer I am, from something that was holding sort of like an anchor around my neck. And you'll be able to add what I call it the H2H habits, but it's the healthy healing habits. And that 10 for 10, it's simple. It's not complicated. And I didn't say run, and I didn't say, hey, lift that, 500-pound bell bar. I just said focus movement. And say, I'm doing it. 10 minutes, I'm doing it. Is it walking? Great. Is it, riding your bike? Great. Is it whatever it is? Doesn't it dancing, turning on the radio and dancing for 10 minutes, 10 times. Don't miss a day. Amazing what that one exercise will do for you. I would rather have someone do 10 minutes for 10 days than that person that comes in for an hour, 2 days a week. Because the hour, 2 days a week, they're not going to stay. 10 minutes, 10 days comes to their mind like that wasn't hard. That was easy. Okay, I can do that. That's all you have to be. Once you do that and you click it, now I've moved it to this other portion of the brain, which is more accepting of some of the other habits. It's like little bite-sized habits. Boom, boom, boom. Sleep more, eat better, slow it down. I would say slow it down, enjoy the world, and all of those things will really bring in, I want to say, more like the childlike creativity. You just start to be more engaged with your life, right?
Right. And you build on those small success stories. About success stories, could you share a memorable success story of a woman you've coached or you've helped, or maybe a friend who defied age and achieved remarkable fitness transformations. And this is a two-part question. What lessons can listeners can take away from this success story?
So one of my clients, I have a few that I love talking about, but okay, I'm going to have to pick. So I'm going to pick one of my clients who, came and like so many people come in and they just saying like, they talk from the negative, right?
Right.
Oh my God, now she was hitting her 50s and was like, oh my gosh, that's why I have this stomach now and I can't lose it. I've tried everything. Nothing works. See all these negative. And my husband and I love to go on cruises. And I don't want to stop going on cruises because it's one of our joys. Now, if you've ever been on a cruise, they got a lot of food on the cruise. It's like they just food. Food's all over the place. And she felt like either I have to starve myself and go on a cruise, which won't be fun, or not go on a cruise. So this was her big thing. And it really was an emotional thing because it's something her and her husband did. It was great joy for them. And one of the things that I love seeing in her transformation is not only was she able to, with the healthy healing habits and fixing her sleep habits and understanding movement, and I do something with muscles so that you can actually reprogram every muscle in your body and reattach it to the brain so that you can call upon the muscle to work in the way you need it to work, when you need it to work. So she went through all of that process, got her flat stomach back, which is what she wanted. But as much as the physical goals were wonderful, what I really loved was that she was so excited. She went on a cruise. It was the first time when she went, she was like, Lisa, I wasn't deprived. Like I still ate food, but I said, everything is choices, right? So if you ate that, then wow, maybe I'll do the 10 and then I'll do another 10, or I'll do more steps, or, you're just kind of making these little life choices. Not a big deal. Who cares? You wanted to eat what you wanted, but then know that you want to do some things that are going to help your body to process it. And she said, I couldn't believe it. I went on this. I wasn't even trying. I got off the cruise and I lost a pound. I usually would gain like 5 or 6 pounds every time I went on a cruise. She could not believe it. And it was all because part of her shift was a mental shift. And she understood something that a lot of people don't know. If you're in a stressful, negative space, the body holds on to fat. And if you're stressing yourself out, now you're stressed, and then you go down, you go to the gym, and you're like, oh my God, I got to do something about this. And you go on the treadmill and you work really hard. Well, then you're stressing the body some more. So now it's already stressed and you're stressing it. And if you don't have any release of the stress, then you might find that you went on the treadmill and did all this stuff and you gained some weight. And what happens when that happens? Then people get really frustrated. See, and that's when they'll say, see, nothing works. And what she realized is, boy, if I take a moment, understand, the mini and major SMART goals is what we have, little SMART goals, SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, time-sensitive goals. And I do it daily. I'm consistent with myself. Right? Doesn't have to take me a billion years, just takes me actually minutes on the hour. And I do it. And I reward myself by positive thoughts and constantly reminding myself of the journey that I'm on, that I can even go on a cruise, eat foods that I like, and lose weight because I'm not stressed in the least. That's powerful.
Definitely.
That, to me, I felt like when she told me that, I said, boy, she has that life lesson that's going to serve her all the way through. And realize that, as we talked about before, that we are here, I say for the living part, to daily challenge our brain, our body, and our beliefs. So we're challenging our brain by how we process information, how we process thoughts, how we process fears. We are challenging our bodies by the movements we do and the foods we eat and the ways that we treat our body through also through stretching and specific exercises. And then we're challenging how we take and process information. If you do that every day, you're going to find that you're naturally moving yourself to the next levels. And, that was my Monica client. And she, what I always used to say with training, no good trainer stays with a client forever. It should be the whole thing is supposed to work, right? Right. So I'm supposed to pour in enough that you're able to do it on your own. That to me is success. So I got a train of successful clients that I love, and I'll bring them into my retreats that I do, and I bring them into Mastery Woman program that I do. But I know, and I can rest assured that they are well seated with the commit, do, live way of approaching their life.
That was powerful. That was very inspiring, I must say. And unfortunately, we're we're running out of time. But I want to ask you one last question, Lisa, if I may. What is it that you want to be remembered for? What's your legacy?
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, it makes me almost cry. I see this as God-driven for me. And so for me, God put on my heart to reach as many people as my time here on earth will allow me to do, to really help people experience this kind of wellness reimagined, where they can understand that the principles of love, freedom, and resilience are at the core of everyone's life.
Right.
And we can live in that. We can live closer to the purpose that we were put here to live.
I want to thank you so much for your time, Lisa. I know you're a very busy woman, and I know you have a community to that you are encouraging everybody who gets to listen to that podcast. I will be sharing those links in the description. You need to go talk to Lisa if you want to get energized. Honestly, you're not gonna regret it. You're just gonna be pumped. I'm pumped right now. I think I'm gonna make some push-ups at the end of this. But it was very inspiring. Thank you so much again, Lisa, for your time. And I sure hope that I can have you back on the show eventually, if your schedule allows it.
Well, I would love that. And I will say, for any of your audience, anyone that reaches out to me, I will say that I will give a discount for any programs I have, any retreats I do. It is based on your show, because I think you're doing something that is beautiful for the people, the listeners, to really get their self in a healthier state. So I thank you for your work, and I want to reward any of your listeners.
Definitely. All right. That was up for today, guys. If you stay connected until the end, well, I want to thank you so much for your time, for listening. That was Lisa Charles, Coach Lisa Charles. Until then, Woman Up.
You are listening to the Woman Up podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please hit the follow button, share it on social media so we can send you a shout out. To get information on public speaking coaching with Natasha DG, reach out by email at contact@natashadg.com or by phone 514-558-5777. Thanks again, and I'll see you on next one. Until then, Woman Up.